The hair in the shower started from day one. I want my story and my mess and then my clean to be a positive thing. I want people to not feel so alone. And as soon as I wake up is, wow, you live in such a messy apartment, you can't even get out of bed correctly. It is a big step to say, I need help and this is bad. I really truly feel like this is a brand new beginning for me.
That was just a little sample of the resident's story, and today she gets to share her whole story in her own words. And I haven't changed her voice in any way. And wow, she's a brave and wonderful woman who dares to open up about her situation to others, to you guys. Because somewhere out there, this story might help someone understand, or even help somebody who's in the same situation. Because our story begins when a man was scrolling online and stumbled across an article about me on a local radio station's website. And right away he thought of his friend Maria, who he knew was really struggling with her home. So he sent her the link. And Maria, let's just say she was a little skeptical at first, like why on earth would some Finnish girl be in America cleaning homes for free? But she still decided to send me a message, and here I am, all thanks to Texas radio. And I thought Maria was just the sweetest, and her story touched me so much that I asked if she'd be willing to do an interview with me, and she said yes. So today you are about to hear something really special. So let's get started. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, like how old are you and what you are studying?
Yeah, so I'm in my early 30s and I'm a science major. I'm getting my PhD in biological sciences, biomedical sciences, and I'm about to finish. I'm currently writing my thesis, so I'm about to defend my thesis. And I've been down in Houston, or should I say Houston? That's fine.
Yeah, you can say,
okay.
Of course.
For 7 years. So I'm not originally from here, I'm from the Northeast. I only came here for school. And yeah.
How long have you been living here?
Here about 2.5 to 3 years, I think. Yeah, in this apartment, yeah. So my first apartment, I lived by myself and it was pretty nice. It didn't really get dirty like this. I would have my moments, but I didn't fall in too hard of a depression there, so people could come over and everything.
Have your previous apartments ever been in this kind of condition?
So yeah, that's a good question. It's always coincided with depression. So sometimes growing up, my room was perfectly fine, and then there was one time in high school when things were really rough that my room just was a mess. And I needed my dad's help. I couldn't do it by myself. And so that was the first time I sort of dealt with it. But then after that, through college and my apartments and stuff, like things would get dirty sometimes, but never to this point, never to like the hoarding trash sort of point.
So you moved in here, then a hurricane came and messed up the place, and at the same time you were dealing with depression, which made things even worse, and you never really felt comfortable here, and then you started therapy. So how do you see all of this now?
Yeah, so it's actually interesting. So I have a therapist and I work on my mental health, and I've actually been doing really well since even before the hurricane, to be honest. But it's almost like my emotional energy has gone to so many other things that I didn't. It was like my therapist knows about my apartment and stuff, and it was almost like the final frontier. Like I really truly feel like this is a brand new beginning for me because I'm more confident. I'm going to graduate soon, like there's no way this apartment will be messy like that again. even if a hurricane comes. It's interesting that, you know, it got really bad with my depression and it got worse with the hurricane, but my depression was getting better. I just didn't have the energy to fix what had already happened.
Okay, so what was the bare minimum you did here to keep the worst of the mess under control?
It was interesting how much effort I actually put into keeping it that messy. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't have a car, so anything I get needs to be delivered. And so boxes and like bags and things like that, they're so big and take up so much space that it would just get out of control. So anytime I would leave the apartment, I would break down boxes and bring them out and try to bring out trash, but obviously I had a huge pile here that I didn't touch, so.
Who did you do the bare minimum for, or why did you do it?
Honestly, most of it, like, I didn't want to do any of it, but I would try to do the bare minimum of where my cat could still like get around and everything. And so I cared much more about him than me. So his litter box would never get too bad, or and he would always have fresh water and food. And then he might throw the food on the floor, and then that's my problem, so I, you know, don't touch it. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of how I did. Like, as long as I had a path to walk and my cat could walk around and have food and litter and water, that was like my bare minimum.
How about, do your parents or family know about what you've been struggling with? And do your friends know about your situation, besides, of course, the one who told you about me?
They don't know, because I'm kind of like the successful one, and I kind of play therapist to them, and so I've found that I have trouble like leaning on them for emotional support, because I feel like I'm the one who needs to emotionally support them. So there's definitely been things that I've gone through that they haven't known about, including how messy this was. So really just those friends, and I have another friend who cat sat once, and it was before it got this bad, but like he knew, you know.
What do you think? Does your next door neighbor know? Because when we were cleaning, she came and asked when we were gonna spray for roaches, since she wants to spray her apartment at the same time. And it's actually pretty easy to see inside your place from the window, so do you believe she knows about your situation? And she was so nice.
I think she knows. I think she has an idea. When I first moved in and it wasn't that bad, she came in here at one point, and like in my mind it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't good, you know. And so she actually mentioned like if I need any help to let her know, but that's so vulnerable, you know. So yeah, I don't know to what extent she knew, but actually she can see through the window, right? Like, yeah. You could see right through. Any delivery I get can see right in, you know. It's just, I guess, like the bathroom in this area wouldn't be seen, but.
Do you think it's true that your home is kind of a reflection of your mind?
Yes and no. I think it's mostly correct, but it takes out a bit of nuance, because I would say my home is reflective of where I was. So my home was reflective of this, you know, very depressed person who can't do much, but in reality, I've been doing better in so many other ways. So with therapy, like I said, just doing work and, you know, going outside more. I think it could be reflective of you at the time, or it could be a snapshot of who you were that your current self hasn't caught up to yet. Yeah, because if I feel like it's almost depressing if I view it as my apartment is a reflection of me, because in my mind I'm doing so much better emotionally, but my apartment isn't. So that's almost like, oh, so I guess I'm not doing better, but that's just a cycle of keeping me down.
Yeah,
I'm not feeding into that. Yeah, you are more than your messy apartment. And it's also like, it's kind of like people with injuries and scars. Like the messes were scars of moments of trauma or tragedy or whatever, but they're scars. They're not, it's not like in one day I make this huge mess.
Can you tell us where this whole mess really started? Like, was it in a certain room or with some specific type of mess? And what kind of things do you think played a part in it getting worse? And how did everything move forward from there? And in what way did you end up leaving things without cleaning? And what about the hair in the shower?
Yeah, I would say, let's see. Well, the hair in the shower started from day one. Was it satisfying?
Yes!
Yeah, so I would say that from, day one. But also, I think the kitchen with cat food. My cat, I love him so much, but he is terribly behaved. So he loves to, when he's done with his food, sometimes he'll just flip over the bowl and then like move it all around and it goes everywhere. And, if I come home from school, I'm exhausted, I don't feel great. There's food on the ground. I'm like, I'll get that later. And then he does it again. And, so I would say that. I would say one of the later things that happened, a post-hurricane thing, was the pile of trash here. That was post-hurricane. That was, I'm not sure how it happened. It just sort of did,
How often do you usually change your sheets?
Yeah, I mean, probably not as much as I should, but I would try to do that every 2 months. I know you're supposed to do it every couple weeks, but 2 or 3 months probably.
Did you know that there are other homes like this where people are unable to clean because of their situation?
I knew because of the show Hoarders. I've never watched it. Because I don't want to see, things that I do wrong. But so I did know it could get bad, but it definitely did feel like no one I personally knew had this. But the thing is, I wouldn't know because a lot of people know me personally and don't know.
Do you try to avoid seeing the mess? And if so, how do you do that?
Yeah, sometimes it makes me want to just plant myself in front of the TV and not look anywhere but the TV so that I don't see everything. I mean, even just honestly getting out of bed and needing to go to the end of the bed instead of to the side, that immediately, as soon as I wake up, is, wow, you live in such a messy apartment, you can't even get out of bed correctly. So yeah, I really don't. The only time where I'm not feeling it is in bed, but as soon as I have to get up, it just hits me.
I've talked with other people I've helped too, and some of them have this habit of turning the lights off, so the mess kind of disappears.
I would do that sometimes, yeah. I would pick and choose what light to put on, and if I could handle that, so yeah, if it's dark, I might put on just this light, and because I'm sitting here but I don't want to see anywhere else. But then if I have to get up to go to the fridge, I can't see, but yeah, so that's definitely a thing.
Was it easier for you that I came to clean, or would it have felt nicer if someone you knew had done it or helped you?
It was so much easier to have you clean, a stranger clean, than to ask my friends. It's almost easier to be vulnerable with a stranger sometimes than it is with the people who know you the best. You don't want your closest friends who, know you inside and out to see the mess, because maybe they'll think you're a mess internally, when really I try to portray myself as, this empathetic, emotional, smart person. But there's so much judgment associated with a messy apartment that what if that changed their entire view of me?
When was the last time you washed this bathroom sink?
A year or so. So I have washed it before, like while living here, but I think the last time I did it was because my toilet broke, and so I needed the maintenance person to come, and so I didn't want him to see it.
Could you tell me how you found me and how that felt? And had you watched any of my videos before I came?
So my friend saw your article in a newspaper down here and sent it to me and said, hey, might as well apply. And so I immediately wrote to you, and I think I just Googled your name and saw that like it was a thing, and then just wrote to you. I didn't watch any, I just wrote. Yeah, and then after writing, I tried to do a little bit more research, but it's interesting because it's hard to watch those videos without knowing I'm going to get help too. So I wanted to look into it, but it was kind of triggering because it was me, I'm seeing me. So until I heard from you that I was going to get help, it was a lot harder to look.
What about all that hair in the shower that we are about to clean up really soon?
That started from day one. I've never cleaned the hair.
Okay, so how many years?
Probably 2.5 to 3, yeah.
What kind of hopes do you have for your life after this cleaning, and how do you plan to take care of the cleaning from now on, and could you maybe even hire a cleaner?
I'm hoping I get a decent job after I graduate, but if I didn't, I think I would have to, run up my credit card or something to get a cleaning service. I actually called a cleaning service to get like an estimate or whatever, and they wanted to come by and see it. I'm like, I'm not quite there yet, but it just sounded like it was going to be so expensive, and grad students don't have much money, and my family is not doing well financially, so I don't have backup. So yeah, I was thinking, I would try to do what I could. At my last apartment with my friend, I told you my room got messy, and I did that all by myself. I spent like 2 days like sleeping on the floor and just deep cleaning everything. But I knew that this was too far. I couldn't do this myself.
Yeah. Are you planning to watch this video on YouTube when it comes out?
I think so, but it depends how I feel during it. I think I will watch the whole thing, but what I'm concerned about is the comments. So, and I just saw your like music video thing, which is so cute. I loved that, where you're like making fun of the bad comments and stuff, and yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk to you, like, how do you deal with the bad, it's not fair, but it makes sense for me to get bad comments, but you're doing a good thing and getting bad comments, so that just blows my mind. It makes no sense to me.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the people who are watching this video?
I would say, kind of on your house is a reflection of yourself, it doesn't have to be. Even if you feel overwhelmed by what's around you, you can still make small changes in other ways and in your life to feel better and do better. And then maybe you'll get to the point where you're ready to tackle the apartment, or if there's something else that, drinking, drugs, you know, anything like that that's hanging over you, you can work on other things until you're ready to approach that one. You don't have to let everything go poorly because you're not ready to face one thing.
What did it feel like when I said your place is now cleaned up, but you hadn't seen it yet?
Man, it's so emotional, and there's a lot of anxiety, but not in the dreadful way. So we talk about anxiety a lot in the way of in a bad way or dreading something, but anxiety feels a lot like excitement too. You know, it revs up your body and everything. So it was anxiety, but I knew it was for a good reason. And so, yeah, I was definitely biting my nails and anxious and stuff, but I knew it was positive.
And now you can hear the real reaction as the resident walks back home.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God. You guys, this is insane. It looks incredible. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. Freddie, you're not going to recognize the place. Freddie, you want to see your new home? He's like, this isn't home. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh my God. This is crazy. Oh my God. Thank you so much.